Welcome to Talking Technique, No Treble. Today I have another one of those chromatic permutation exercises, rapid fire 16th notes that, are a great technique workout, really good shedding for your left hand, for your coordination. I'm alternating in the right hand. So all of those things come together, and if you practice your permutation exercises, this is where it pays off. Also, what we're having in this line, similar to a line that I showed you a couple of episodes ago, is this extended fingering. So usually my general position is 1 finger per fret, but in some cases it makes sense to extend that fingering over 1 fret, and we have plenty of that to practice in this line. So let me break it down for you. In essence, this is a groove in D major or D dominant context would work, and the target notes are always the triad notes, but there are also 6s and flat 7s that are featured. Now this is rapid fire 16th notes here nonstop, and for a groove in a song this might work better if we thinned it out a little bit, but this is great practice, it's super technique shedding, and it's really fun to play. You could also use any of these measures as an effective fill in an otherwise not as dense groove. Measure 1 starts out with a groove nucleus that has a different rhythm. It's a nice switch up to all these 16th notes there. Starts out with the 1E and up. So that is the beat 1, and that is a consistent beat 1 for all 4 of the measures. And then in the sort of the ending, the tag has a little bit of a different twist to it. And this is a really cool, really hip beginning, this 1, 1, 5, and then to the 10. That draws a lot of attention to the bass, so use wisely, use when there's room for that, for a little bass feature, but it sounds very dramatic. So I'm going down, and then I turn around. So this emphasizes the root, the third, and then the major 6. The beat also falls on the 9 here. But this direction change is pretty cool. And it goes back to the groove nucleus. So this has a little bit of an angular effect. It's not just one direction, but it kind of meanders for a second. Compare that to staying in the same direction or even... So first of all, when I'm going up here to the 10th, I'm already using my stretched fingering. So I'm going 4, 3, 2, 1, but the 1... Between 2 and 1 I have a whole step. And then the direction changes going up. This would be fairly easy to finger, but then I have a problem because then I have to jump to the D, and the only way I can do that is with this really unruly movement of 1 to 1, which I'm trying to avoid. Now there are 2 ways how you can avoid that. So one way to circumvent that would be to go to the 2 here, and then go down here, which means you have to drum string cross with your pinky at this fast speed. So that's a challenge. Another way to do it is to come down to the first finger but then jump down to the second finger. That's another possibility. So again, if you end up with the first finger on that E, jump down to the second finger. It's much more elegant than trying to get the same finger down. There's a lot of tension in my shoulder that builds up when I try to do that. I prefer that to but that's also a possibility. But you don't want to do, because that sounds pretty unruly. Now measure 2 takes it below the root. Starts with the same groove nucleus, same stretched fingering. So stretch down to the E. So this is a good challenge for the left hand. And then as soon as I can, I want to return to my 1 finger per fret position. And I can do that nicely here. The third measure is pretty much the same as measure 1, just that now the direction changes. We have it now this way. Now I'm not moving from the first finger to the first finger, I'm moving from the third finger to the first finger, and that's easier to do. I want to point out this need for making this string crossing smooth. And the easiest way to do that is to sort of almost bar those 2 strings. This is so fast. If you kind of just lay it across like that. As I'm coming down from this figure, I need to get to my second finger because then I'm going to this different figure down here. So ideally you want to land on the second finger already. In this figure, we have an enclosure. We're enclosing around that F sharp. That's called an enclosure when you have 1 from above, 1 from below, target. And in general, I am in the same position here for the entirety of the figure, with the exception of the F and the F sharp, which I will grab with this position switch. Now when you're going to the repeat, you could play that D, you could stay with that D on the second finger, or you could switch to the first finger. You could switch while you are on the D. You could switch fingers. There's a jump afterwards anyway. So either way is fine, you have a jump, but the jump is not as far if you're on the first finger when you get ready for it. Now when you go getting ready for this ending, you're going to be jumping from the F sharp here all the way up here. And it's interesting, even though this is a very chromatic line, all the beats fall on chord tones. F sharp, C, flat 7, then A, F sharp again, F sharp again, and 4, 3, 2, 1 down to the root. So here we have extended fingering 4, 3, 2, 1, then we have regular fingering 4, 3, 2, 1, regular fingering meaning 1 finger per fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 stretch slightly, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is a line where you really want to make sure you decide on the fingering and stick with it, as with most lines, especially faster scenarios. You want to have consistent fingering. You don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. Staying relaxed, especially when you have these extended fingering 4, 3, 2, 1s or 1, 2, 3, 4s. Figuring out how you are going to pivot between scenarios with extended fingering and regular fingering is important. And yeah, just slow it down, take it slow, bit by bit. You can loop every single bar or loop 2 bars. It's super fun to play, so I hope you go for it. us at arispacblog.com. Got courses out, got books out, got more on the way. So you want to make sure to stay in touch at arispacblog.com. We also have a course that is a 20-unit course, Music Theory for the Bass Player, the course that puts music theory on the fretboard. And since music theory is so much about shapes, we talk a lot about proper fingering. And when we talk about proper fingering, we might as well take it one step further and talk about proper technique. So in this course, we give you a thorough technique workout. Participants are raving about what it has done for their technique and their understanding of theory and for their ability to build their own grooves, which is the main reason why we're doing all of that. So if you'd like to find out more about that, respacblog.com. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.